Well, I was born in 1927 in Des Moines, Iowa. And my folks moved to Idaho, up in the panhandle of Idaho, when I was 4 years old. And I went to a country school where they had one teacher taught from first grade to eighth grade. And you wonder today how they ever did it, but that's the way it was back then. And then when I got out of high school, I was about to be drafted. The World War II was still on, and my dad suggested I join the Coast Guard. So I enlisted in the Coast Guard, and they sent me to a little island between Alameda and Oakland called Government Island, where I went through boot camp. After boot camp, they put me in a supply depot. I never set foot in a boat. I was in the Coast Guard. After a year and a half, they didn't need me anymore, so they sent me home, and G.I. Bill Rice paid for 3 years of college for me. Then, after I was teaching at East Bakersville High School, they decided all math and science teachers should have their master's degree. And I went to summer school for 3 summers and got my master's degree in biology. And so Uncle Sam paid for most of my college.
We moved here in 1962. My uncle was teaching at Bakersfield College and encouraged my dad to come down and have an interview. And he did, and they hired him to teach at East High School. And it's been family ever since. He still has friends that he taught with and former students that are friends of his, and it was it's been a big part of our lives as a family. He taught here for 30 years. He was advisor to CSF for many years. I don't know how many, but many years. Took kids on field trips to colleges and enjoyed that every year.
Roger was one of probably, I would say he was probably the best liked faculty member in the school, just because he was always had a great attitude. And if you asked Roger to work a swim meet or a track meet, I mean, he was there. He was Johnny on the spot. He never turned you down. He just he had a real feeling for East High, and we were very, very fortunate to have him as a fellow member.
I think he was probably the most beloved teacher, at least that I had at East High. He was my favorite teacher. He was very kind and caring, always had a positive attitude. You saw that when you walked in his class, and he had a big old smile, and he was always shaking your hand. Hi, how are you? It was just a lot of fun. He's probably best known for his bad puns. He and his partner in crime, Mr. Knapp, who worked right next door, always had some bad pun that would make the students groan. I can remember Mr. Knapp would walk in through the lab door, and Roger would see him, and he would yell out, "It's nap time!" And Ed, who was this big, tall, 6'5" guy, would look down at Roger's head and rub his peach fuzz on his bald head and say, "There's fungus among us," and the kids would groan, and because we heard that joke over and over again, and they'd giggle and laugh, and we'd all have a good time.
When I told Dad that I'd gotten the phone call and I explained to him what it was, he really didn't know what this meant. And I told him, "Dad, this is a big thing. East High's been around for a lot of years, and this is the second class going in, and there's some really great people he's going in with. And we're obviously very proud, and I know my mom would have been very proud as well."